to the Passenger Seat Podcast, a podcast designed to fill your passenger seat with chat about classic cars, all recorded from my 1968 Morris Minor Peggy. I'm Becca, and today I'm going to be telling you all about the fantastic Women Drivers Social Club Winter Warmer that I went to this weekend that really set me up to a fantastic year of motoring in 2025. So I made the decision in the first year of running the Women Drivers Social Club that a lot of people's Decembers are often very busy and lots of car clubs have kind of Christmas events. So to kind of make it so that more people were able to attend, and also to cheer as many people up in what is often quite a difficult month of January, we would do a winter warmer, a thing in January to get people together, get people out in their cars when there's often not a lot on, and get people to be able to spend time together, talk about their plans for the year, and also kind of launch the year of motoring with the Women Drivers Social Club. Last year we went to the fantastic Stonehurst Farm, and this year we were equally blessed with a fantastic location of Classic Collective just outside, in Bicester, not too far from the Bicester Heritage Site. So I'd seen the location on Instagram, really kind of shown the power of social media in letting you know about these sorts of places, and was really fortunate to kind of have a bit of knowledge about the people that work there and the people that run it, and so I was able to kind of get in contact with them and see if this is something that they'd be interested in hosting, and they were incredibly enthusiastic, which is always good, and it's great to kind of find people that are super on board with what we do as a club and what we're all about, and being able to kind of offer something a little bit different to the group on their trips out. And with the winter warmer, it's always really important that there's an element kind of it mostly being inside, otherwise it does get very cold, and obviously having the cars safe and parked up nicely as well. And Classic Collective were able to offer us that really well, so that was great. We booked ourselves in the Saturday just gone, and I was the second to arrive. It took me probably about an hour and 45 minutes to get down there. Reasonably easy run, being quite early in the morning when I set off. Didn't really hit too much traffic or issues or anything like that. And yeah, altogether a decent run over there, and probably my longest one in Peggy this year so far. So it was really nice to get back behind the wheel, have a really nice run, and just time to myself. And again, with it being January, with kind of people often struggling at this time of year with their mental health, having the opportunity to get out in their cars, have that big long drive either by themselves or with a friend, was absolutely fantastic, and it was really nice to kind of have that opportunity. I was, like I said, about the third person there. Maria in her Rover 75 was super keen and all set up and parked when I got there, as was Amanda, who'd actually come from further than me, so had really had to make some allowances for time and running and getting there in decent time. I got myself parked up, started popping the flag up, and people generally started to filter in. We had Mush in her MX-5, we had Christine in her Morris Minor, Isabel in her Morris Minor, we had Amanda was in a Z3, we had my sister who had to come in her Fiat 500 unfortunately, because her Hillman Californian decided it didn't want to have a clutch kind of last minute. We had Katie from Wrench and Wench arrive in George, her Audi. We had Sarah in her VW van. We had Tamsin in her Suzuki Ignis. We had Marion in her partner's Volvo. We had Matty and Faye in their Binny, as they call it, which is kind of a BMW Mini, but quite an early one. Natasha in her VW Beetle, myself, Claire in her Fiat van with her camping setup, and she'd been incredibly brave and camped the night before, which, like, fantastic, and had managed to kind of keep very warm and have a very decent night before, which is all good. We had Hannah in her Polestar, Julia and Elizabeth in their van. I didn't see it, they'd parked kind of elsewhere. And we had Vicky and Sandra in Vicky's Capri, which is always gorgeous to see. And it was a real nice range of cars, and a real nice reflection of what we're about in terms of whatever car gets you there, whatever car is working, whatever car you enjoy, that's the car to go in. And all in all, a nice range in the car park as a result. Claire came along later in her Saab, and yeah, it was a very good group of cars and people. Everyone was kind of there by about just after 11, and we were able to head in and warm up with a lovely cup of tea or coffee or whatever people were after, and enjoy kind of standing around and chatting in their really lovely kind of like little foyer area. And then Simeon came and introduced himself and started showing us around, and it's a really fascinating place. They've got a really great ethos there in terms of when they first started out, they'd hired kind of what a lot of the time you see at these sorts of classic restoration businesses, in terms of two older gentlemen who had been around for a while, and they noticed that actually there was an issue with the lack of kind of younger new blood coming into the scene and working on these cars. And so they helped set up the Heritage Skills Academy curriculum and stuff like that, which is obviously amazing, and it's a really great initiative, and have then started to try and employ as many younger people and support them through apprenticeships and stuff like that on these older vehicles. And that was really fantastic to learn about, and I'm pretty sure one of the women heard him say that their kind of average age is either 28 or 38 in terms of the people that are working on the vehicles. Then they've got kind of storage options, and another great thing about them is that they're intending to make these cars reliable and usable. It's not about kind of making concourse vehicles a lot of the time. It's about making a car, as Simeon said, that can get to Cornwall the minute it leaves the place and have no issues and have a fantastic time. And in reality, a lot of the cars that they've worked on do a whole lot more than that. I was so excited to see Bronwyn Burrell's Puff the Magic Wagon, the Austin Maxi, that had been part of some fantastic rallying back in the day, and hear the story in full, which I'm hoping I will be able to share with you in a future podcast, because it is a fantastic little vehicle, and for it to be reunited with Bronwyn and then get to kind of continue its rallying life thanks to the kind of reliability and support that they've been able to kind of build into it with the work that's been done at the Classic Collective was great. And obviously a lot of us in the group use our cars pretty regularly, so being able to ask questions about which parts have you found work really well, which parts have you found have reliability issues, which things are kind of improving in their quality. All of that stuff was really valuable, and I think a lot of people really enjoyed that aspect of kind of being able to interact with the tour as we went round. We were introduced to kind of all the cars that were there, what they were there for, whether it was storage or little bits of work and servicing or whatever it might be. There was kind of an upholstery section, and they talked about how they sourced the materials and stuff for that, which is often a unique aspect in itself, but it all kind of existing in this one hub means that the people that go there who have their cars kind of looked after by them know that there's going to be someone there to help them with whatever issue they've got, but also have potentially got the opportunity to have someone who is training in these skills and stuff like that, get to learn more about a variety of different vehicles and keep these heritage skills alive and well, and supporting our community. So we were there from about 10:30 until about 1 o'clock, and had a really fantastic time asking questions, going around, really exploring it, and finding out lots more about kind of what makes those sorts of businesses work, and the role that heritage skills and making sure that there's an interest fostered in the next generation to work on these cars is fantastic, because there's always going to be jobs that feel too daunting or a little bit too much to do by yourself. So having the availability of places like that is always going to be a necessity for keeping cars that we love on the road. Then it was time to head off to our lunch spot, and we weren't too far from it. It was kind of a 3-minute drive, if that, but a very nice little pub called Burr Farm. And if you're going to Bicester and you're looking for a decent little spot to kind of stop off at after you've been to either like a Bicester Scramble or visited one of the businesses there, I know in the past that I've struggled to find somewhere that I can park the car near and be able to go in and enjoy a meal, and also feel reasonably comfortable with the vehicle being there. And Burr Farm fitted these. They were super accommodating to us, gave us this lovely little area for us all to sit down in and be able to kind of mix up our seating and get to know everyone and introduce some new people a little bit more, get to know them a little bit better, because it's really fantastic with these meets in the fact that often it will be someone's first time and they get welcomed and they feel like they want to keep coming, and a lot of the time when someone's been once, then they just kind of keep coming and really enjoy hanging out with everybody else, which is obviously what you want when you're putting these sorts of things on. You want to see more people enjoying them and getting the most out of them. So we sat down for lunch at about 1:30, and I think the last of us probably left at about 4:30ish. 4:30ish, because I was then home for just after 7 o'clock after some diversions and stuff. So not too bad of a run home, and a very pleasant day out all told. It was great to get back with everyone and get to spend some more time with everyone, having not seen a lot of them since the NEC in November. And it was a great turnout, and I was really grateful to everyone for making the effort, because like I say, January isn't always the time that people think about getting their cars out, but it is nice, and it does often cheer you up a bit, because obviously people debate whether it's real or not, but this week was Blue Monday, as they call it, the third Monday after the start of the year, where things kind of perhaps feel particularly tough, and so to have the meet just before that and hopefully lift people's spirits is a really nice thing to have had. And obviously we're super grateful to Classic Collective and the pub farm for having us and accommodating us, and it was just so nice. There's such a great group of women, and some of the friendships that have kind of come off from that, and networking and getting to know each other a bit more outside of it is just brilliant. And it's so nice to have found more people who enjoy cars the way that I like to enjoy cars, from across generations, who have had similar experiences to me and are looking for a way to try and avoid those, or at least have some experiences that aren't always the generic experience that a lot of women have when they own classic cars. But all in all, a fantastic time, and I hope that's come across over the podcast. If you are a listener who is a woman who enjoys automotive, please check us out on Facebook. We are very soon going to be announcing the details of our International Women's Day meet this year, which will be on Saturday the 8th of March, and I'm hoping that it's going to be a really fantastic turnout, because we've got a really good location for it, and I think it's going to be something really special. And then there's lots of other stuff coming up this year with them as well, and it's just a really nice Facebook group to be in. And if you're not a Facebook user, then there is a newsletter that comes out via email most months with kind of updates and details as well. Hopefully most of you have had an opportunity to get out in your classics so far this year and enjoy them and make good plans for the rest of 2025. And I'd love to hear about that down in the comment section on YouTube, or in the comments on the post over on social media if you're listening on other platforms. But in the meantime, thank you ever so much for listening. Drive safely and happy motoring.